Alright, what is going on, guys? Avatar Legends is coming out in 2026. We're still missing characters. So because of that, and because we don't yet know what the entire roster is, I just wanted to give a few ideas on who I wouldn't mind seeing as potential main roster or potential DLC characters, as well as how I think they might play and their potential supports that are going to go with them. And also, I should probably also say this now, every character on this list is from Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I'll be honest, I saw very little of Korra, and I don't remember much of any of it, so I will be primarily just talking about the Avatar: The Last Airbender characters. Alright, let us start with the character I think I most want, and the vast majority of people want. I mean, come on. We all want Iroh, right? I'd be absolutely shocked if Iroh does not make it into this game as a main roster character. He is probably, outside, even including, honestly, the main group, Iroh's probably one of the most beloved characters in all of Avatar, both the original and in Korra. And as for how I think he's going to play, he's probably going to actually end up being a counter-based character, if I had to guess. A lot of the things he does tend to be either A, very reactionary, B, using what he's learned from studying different kinds of benders, especially water benders. And then, of course, he's also got his dragon's breath, but that's something that's entirely... So I wouldn't be surprised if Iroh ends up being more of a counter-focused character. And as for his supports, Rand and Shaw, I think, is like 100% going to be one of them. He was the last outsider to learn from the two remaining dragons in Rand and Shaw. Depending on how the rules of supports go in terms of can multiple characters have the same support character, or can a character that's in the main roster also be a support character, I can see Iroh basically having literally any member of the White Lotus backing him up for something. It'd be a Piandao, Paku with Zhong, etc., etc. Zhong could work technically, Firebender back into a Firebender. Again, White Lotus, boomy. And he's probably going to make people very mad because I could see him being a zoner. I know, he doesn't look like it, but I went and looked back at every time we saw him battle on screen. Mainly what he does is he shoots pillars of earth out of the ground underneath the opponent, and sends wave after wave of rocks at people. And the rocks he threw were massive. But I think that the projectiles that they're going to give him are going to cover a lot of the screen. And if anything, he's probably going to be the best character at actually locking down characters and their crazy movements. For his supports, Flopsy, of course, his pet. I mean, that's a given. Again, same thing as Iroh. Probably any member of the White Lotus could end up backing him up, and I could see that if Piandao, Paku, Zhong, any of them ends up making it into the game. All right, next up, if this is a movement focused game. This game is based on this game seems to be based, and they even described it as a very high mobility focused game. How on earth are we going to have a game full of movement if we don't have Ty Lee in it? She legitimately is the most acrobatic character who's not an airbender, so how could we not have her in the game? And as for how she would play, well, she's the master of chi blocking, so debuffs. Have her be kind of like Beautiful Joe. She could have potential hits that could slow opponents or make it where they can't use EX moves for a certain amount of times. Or basically just in general potential debuffs if she gets on top of you and she forces you and she ends up hitting you. As for supports, the Kyoshi Warriors would be a good fit. Like Suki, for example, since at the end of Avatar, I was about to say spoilers, but I mean, come on, if you haven't seen Avatar at this point, go fix that. She ends up joining the Kyoshi Warriors at the end. Besides that, of course, again, and this kind of comes down to the whole, can support characters also be main roster characters, or support characters be supporting multiple characters? But Azula and May would also make a lot of sense for her supports. Fourth character I want to talk about, and because since Zuko is not using his swords. We should have more characters with weapons. So I know we're going to get Sokka, but we don't really know what he's going to do, how much he's going to use his sword, or if it's going to be all the boomerang, or how he's going to fight. So I want to add another character that uses weapons, and we're talking about, again, good mobility, jets, twin blades, and because he's got his whole army of freedom fighters behind him, he could work like Captain Ginyu in Dragon Ball. Using his specials, he could call different members of the freedom fighters to blow stuff up, so it could be a good fit. And as for supports, well, I did just mention the freedom fighters. Basically, just pick 3 members of the freedom fighters, and those will probably be his 3 choices for his supports. And the last character I want to talk about, such a stupid idea, but I'm excited to talk about this. We have to have a joke character, right? What character would be better than my cabbages? Let's add the cabbage guy into this game. And what do you mean the cabbage guy? He doesn't fight. True, he doesn't fight. But he's always there when fighting happens. And what if we make that his fighting style? Stay with me. He's just there with his cabbages. He throws his cabbages in different ways. And because his cabbages and his cart get destroyed in so many ways, those are his specials. His cabbages are getting burned. He could literally throw explosive cabbages, because one of his specials could be he throws a cabbage and at the same time it gets lit on fire by a firebender attack. Or he summons his cart and then a gust of wind shoots out because Aang destroyed his cart that way, and the pieces of the cart shoot across the screen as a projectile to hit the opponents. The multiple ways the cabbages get destroyed and attacked throughout the series could be his specials in the game, and that would be hilarious. I know it's not going to happen, but it would be amazing. And that closes out my list of 5 characters that I hope to see in the Avatar Legends fighting game. Who else would you want to see? And especially for these guys who like Korra, give me your characters from Korra on which characters you'd want to see. Because like I said, I don't know enough. I'm sure that there are going to be more characters in Legends of Korra added to the game. I am just not the person to make those decisions. But that's it for me. Hope you guys have a good one. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. My cabbages!
Off with their heads! One for each head of cabbage!